Imagine finding a coin that seems like just another piece of pocket change, but with a hidden history and value beyond your wildest dreams. That's the fascinating world of coin collecting, where everyday coins can turn into rare treasures. One such coin that has caught the attention of collectors around the world is the 1974 United States 5-cent piece, also known as the nickel. While most of us are familiar with the classic nickel design featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse, this particular year holds a unique place in the world of numismatics. What makes the 1974 5-cent coin so intriguing, and how can you find a version that could be worth an astonishing amount of money? Let's dive into this exciting topic and uncover the value and worth of this coin. The 1974 nickel is a part of the regular series of 5-cent coins produced by the United States Mint. It weighs 5 grams and has a diameter of 21.21 millimeters, like most modern nickels. The obverse features the classic portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. The reverse depicts Jefferson's iconic Virginia estate, Monticello, which has been part of the nickel's design since 1938. At first glance, this coin might seem like just another ordinary nickel, but appearances can be deceiving. So, what makes the 1974 5-cent piece so noteworthy? The answer lies in the potential for rare minting errors and variations that can significantly increase its value. While the vast majority of 1974 nickels were struck without any major issues, some of them have fascinating errors that make them extremely valuable to collectors. These errors, which occur during the minting process, can make an otherwise ordinary coin stand out as a rare and valuable find. One of the most sought-after errors that can occur on the 1974 nickel is the double die error. A double die error happens when the coin is struck more than once, causing a doubling of the design elements on the coin. In the case of the 1974 nickel, the most noticeable effect of a double die error might be seen in the word Liberty or In God We Trust. The doubling of these letters can be subtle but clear enough for collectors to spot, and a coin with this error can be worth significantly more than its face value. The rarity of such errors is what makes these coins so highly sought after in the numismatic community. Beyond the double die error, there are other potential minting issues that can make a 1974 nickel valuable. For example, some nickels from this year were struck with a misaligned die, resulting in a coin with a design that appears off-center. Misaligned dies are not as rare as double die errors, but they are still highly prized by collectors. Coins with misaligned dies or other unusual features often fetch higher prices, especially if they are in excellent condition. Of course, the condition of the coin is one of the most critical factors in determining its value. A coin that has been well preserved, free of scratches, dents, or discoloration, will always be more valuable than a coin that has been heavily worn. The higher the grade a coin receives from professional graders, the more valuable it is likely to be. Coins that are graded as mint state or proof with no significant signs of wear can sell for far more than those in lesser condition. So, how much is a 1974 nickel worth? For most of these coins, their value is close to their face value of 5 cents. However, when you start to look for those rare minting errors or find coins in exceptional condition, the value skyrockets. For example, a well-preserved 1974 nickel with a double die error or misaligned die could sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But the real excitement comes when you think about the most prized examples of the 1974 nickel, the ones with the most dramatic errors and the best preservation. One of the most incredible stories in the world of numismatics is the discovery of a 1974 nickel that was sold for an astonishing price. This particular coin, featuring a notable minting error and in near-perfect condition, was sold at auction for an incredible $49,000. That's right, $49,000. This sale highlights the extraordinary value that can be attached to a 1974 nickel when it's a rare find with significant errors. Imagine that, a single 5-cent coin turning into a small fortune. Now, you might be wondering, how can you find a 1974 nickel that could be worth this kind of money? While it's certainly not common, it's not entirely impossible. Coin collectors often search through rolls of nickels, looking for the rare ones that may have slipped through the cracks. If you're out on a coin hunt, it's important to carefully inspect each 1974 nickel for signs of errors such as the double die or misalignment. Look closely at the inscriptions and the design to see if there are any telltale signs of a minting flaw. If you spot one, make sure to set it aside, as it could be the discovery of a lifetime. If you do find a 1974 nickel that you believe has significant value, it's crucial to have it professionally graded. Coin grading is a specialized process in which experts assess the condition of a coin and assign it a grade based on its appearance. The higher the grade, the higher the value of the coin. Having a coin graded by a professional will give you a much clearer idea of its worth and can help you determine the best way to sell or trade it. In addition to looking for minting errors, remember that there are other factors that can affect a coin's value. A coin that is in perfect condition with no signs of wear, fading, or scratches will always command a premium price. It's the combination of rarity, error, and condition that makes the 1974 nickel so desirable. In conclusion, the 1974 5-cent coin may appear to be just another piece of pocket change, but for the right collector, it can be worth far more than you could ever imagine. Whether it's due to a rare minting error like the double die, a misaligned die, or simply its excellent condition, the 1974 nickel has earned its place in the world of valuable coins. And for the lucky few who come across one of these rare examples, the payoff can be extraordinary. After all, one such 1974 nickel with a significant error was sold for an unbelievable $49,000. That's right, $49,000. Keep your eyes open and your hands ready. Who knows, the next valuable coin you find might just be worth a small fortune. Top 2 1994 United States 5-cent piece, commonly known as the nickel. To most people, this nickel is just another piece of pocket change, nothing more than the typical nickel with Thomas Jefferson's image on the front and Monticello on the back. However, if you look closely, there's a lot more to this coin than meets the eye. There are some rare versions of the 1994 nickel that have intrigued collectors, driven up prices, and left many wondering just how a simple 5-cent piece could be worth thousands of dollars. Today, we're going to uncover the fascinating story behind the 1994 nickel and why some of these coins can be worth a small fortune. The 1994 nickel is a part of the regular series of coins minted by the U.S. Mint during that year. It follows the classic design of the nickel that has been in use since 1938, which features the image of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, the front, and Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, on the reverse, the back. This design has remained largely unchanged over the decades, and the 1994 nickel is no different in terms of its basic appearance. It's made from a combination of copper and nickel and has a weight of 5 grams and a diameter of 21.21 millimeters. For most of us, these nickels come and go, usually as part of our everyday transactions. They might get lost in our wallets or fall into a jar full of spare change. But the true beauty of coin collecting lies in its potential for discovery. While the majority of 1994 nickels are worth exactly 5 cents, certain rare versions have emerged, causing them to soar in value and become highly sought after by collectors. One of the most important factors in determining a coin's value is the presence of minting errors. Minting errors occur when a coin is struck with a flaw during the manufacturing process, resulting in an unusual or incorrect design. These errors can make a coin stand out from the thousands of others that were struck properly, and in many cases, they can significantly increase the coin's value. The 1994 nickel is no exception, as some of these coins were struck with rare errors that have made them incredibly valuable to collectors. One of the most famous and sought-after errors for the 1994 nickel is the double die error. This occurs when a coin is struck multiple times with the same die, causing the design on the coin to appear doubled. The doubling can often be seen in the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," making it easy to spot for those familiar with what to look for. The presence of this error on the 1994 nickel can make it worth much more than its face value. Some double die nickels can sell for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin. Another potential minting flaw that can increase the value of the 1994 nickel is a misaligned die. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin is improperly aligned, causing the design to appear shifted or off-center. Misaligned die errors are less common than double die errors, but they are still highly prized by collectors. A 1994 nickel with an off-center design can be quite valuable, especially if the misalignment is particularly dramatic or the coin is in excellent condition. Aside from minting errors, the condition of the coin plays a significant role in determining its worth. Coins that have been preserved in near-perfect condition, with minimal wear and no signs of damage, are far more valuable than those that have been circulated extensively. A coin that has retained its original shine and sharp details is considered to be in mint state, and these coins often fetch higher prices. The better the condition of the coin, the more likely it is to sell for a premium at auction or to a private collector. So, what is the actual value of a 1994 nickel? While the typical 1994 nickel may only be worth its face value of 5 cents, certain rare versions of the coin have been known to fetch impressive sums. A 1994 nickel with a double die error or misaligned die in mint condition can command a price far higher than what you might expect. And the value only goes up from there when you take into account the rarity of the error and the condition of the coin. For instance, one of the most exceptional 1994 nickels ever discovered sold for an astounding price of $42,000. Yes, you heard that right, $42,000 for a single 5-cent coin. This particular nickel was struck with a rare minting error, and due to its exceptional condition, it became a highly coveted item among collectors. This sale serves as a powerful reminder of how a simple, everyday coin can transform into a true collector's treasure when it's the right coin with the right characteristics. You might be wondering how you can find one of these rare and valuable 1994 nickels. The truth is, it takes a bit of luck and a lot of patience. Coin collectors and enthusiasts often spend years searching through rolls of coins, looking for those special pieces that have been struck with errors or unusual features. If you happen to come across a 1994 nickel that you believe has a rare error or is in mint condition, it's worth taking the time to carefully examine it and potentially get it professionally graded. Coin grading is a process where experts assess the condition of a coin and assign it a grade based on its appearance. The higher the grade, the higher the value of the coin. A coin in mint condition with a significant error can easily be worth thousands of dollars. If you suspect that you found a valuable 1994 nickel, getting it professionally graded is a crucial step in determining its true worth. In addition to searching for minting errors, you should also familiarize yourself with the different types of variations that might increase the value of a coin. For example, some 1994 nickels were struck with different types of die cracks or other unique features that make them more valuable. The more you know about coin errors and variations, the better equipped you'll be to spot a rare and valuable find in your collection. In conclusion, while the 1994 5-cent coin may seem like just another piece of loose change, it holds the potential to be worth much more. Whether it's due to a minting error like a double die or a misaligned die, or simply because of its excellent condition, the 1994 nickel can be a true collector's prize. And for those lucky enough to come across one of these rare coins, the payoff can be extraordinary. After all, one lucky collector sold a 1994 nickel for a jaw-dropping $42,000. Top 3 1996 United States 5-cent coin that could potentially be worth thousands of dollars. Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet, this scenario isn't as far-fetched as it seems. The 1996 nickel has been gaining significant attention in the numismatic world, and some versions of this coin are indeed worth far more than their face value. The 1996 nickel looks like your typical US 5-cent piece at first glance. Like all nickels, it features the famous portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, along with his estate, Monticello, on the reverse. This design has been in use for decades, but it's the errors and variations from specific years like 1996 that have made these coins highly sought after by collectors and investors alike. Most people would probably think that this coin is worth just 5 cents, but for those who know the value of rare minting errors, There's much more to the 1996 nickel than meets the eye. The first thing to understand about coin collecting is that the condition of the coin and any errors it may contain are the main factors that determine its value. Coins with minting errors are far more valuable than their non-error counterparts because these errors are usually the result of a mistake during the coin's production process, which makes them unique. The rarer the error, the higher the value. Now, when it comes to the 1996 nickel, one of the most sought-after features is the presence of double die errors. This is when the coin is struck more than once by the die, resulting in the image being doubled. For the 1996 nickel, this error typically appears in the inscriptions on the coin, such as Liberty or In God We Trust. The doubling effect is subtle but noticeable enough for collectors to spot. These double die errors are relatively rare, and finding one on a 1996 nickel can make the coin worth far more than its 5-cent face value. Depending on the severity of the doubling and the condition of the coin, these nickels can sell for a premium, sometimes reaching hundreds of dollars. Another important error that can make a 1996 nickel incredibly valuable is the misaligned die error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin isn't properly aligned, resulting in a coin with an off-center design. Misaligned die coins are also highly collectible because they are rare and unique. The more misaligned the die, the more valuable the coin can be. A 1996 nickel with a significantly misaligned die could fetch thousands of dollars at auction if it's in great condition. Condition, of course, plays a critical role in the value of any coin, and the 1996 nickel is no exception. Coins that are in exceptional condition, with sharp details and no signs of wear, are always more valuable than those that have been heavily circulated. A well-preserved 1996 nickel, especially one with a notable minting error, can be worth much more than a coin that has been worn down over the years. Coins in mint condition with a high grade can often sell for much higher prices, sometimes even exceeding expectations, but here's the real kicker: there's a specific 1996 nickel that has become the holy grail for collectors. This coin, featuring a rare minting error and in pristine condition, was sold for an astronomical price. You may have guessed it, the single 1996 nickel fetched a staggering $44,000. That's right, $44,000 for a nickel that, in its ordinary form, is only worth 5 cents. This sale is a perfect example of how a small flaw in the minting process can turn a simple piece of change into a valuable collector's item. Now you're probably wondering how to spot a 1996 nickel that could be worth so much money. The first step is to closely inspect the coin for any minting errors. Look for signs of doubling on the lettering or the design, as this is one of the most common and valuable errors. You'll also want to check for misaligned dies, which are often obvious if the design is significantly off-center. Keep an eye out for any other unusual features, such as die cracks or any abnormalities in the coin's design. These variations, though not as common as double die or misaligned dies, can also increase the value of a 1996 nickel. It's also important to keep in mind that the condition of the coin is crucial. A coin that has been well maintained with minimal wear will always command a higher price than one that's been circulating for years. If you believe you found a rare 1996 nickel with an error or in pristine condition, it's worth taking the time to get it professionally graded. Professional grading will assess the coin's authenticity and condition, helping you understand its true value. Coins that receive a high grade can be worth far more than those with a lower grade. So, where can you find one of these rare 1996 nickels? The answer is simple: keep your eyes peeled. Coin collectors often search through rolls of nickels, looking for those elusive rare errors. If you happen to come across a 1996 nickel with a noticeable error, make sure to set it aside. The key to finding valuable coins is being patient, diligent, and attentive to the details. And don't forget, even a coin that seems like a simple nickel at first glance could turn out to be a rare gem. In conclusion, the 1996 United States 5-cent coin may seem ordinary at first, but for those who know what to look for, it's far from just another piece of pocket change. Minting errors like double die and misaligned dies, combined with excellent condition, can turn this simple coin into a highly valuable collector's item. And when you hear stories of coins like the 1996 nickel selling for $44,000, it's clear that there's more to these coins than meets the eye. So, next time you come across a 1996 nickel, take a closer look. You might just be holding onto a piece of numismatic history that could make you a small fortune. Top 4 2001 United States 5-cent coin that has captured the attention of coin collectors and enthusiasts for years. This seemingly regular nickel has, in some cases, fetched prices that will blow your mind. We're talking about a coin that, in certain circumstances, could be worth up to $41,000. At first glance, the 2001 nickel might seem like just another example of the standard 5-cent coin. It features Thomas Jefferson's portrait on the obverse, which is typical of the U.S. nickel design. The reverse shows Jefferson's historic home, Monticello, just as it has been featured on the nickel since 1938. However, for coin collectors, there's much more to this coin than meets the eye, and the 2001 version of this nickel holds a place in the hearts of those who are always on the lookout for rare, valuable finds. So what makes the 2001 nickel so special? The truth is, like many other valuable coins, it's not the design itself that makes it stand out, but the errors that sometimes occur during the minting process. Minting errors are when something goes wrong in the coin-making process, resulting in a coin that has flaws or deviations from the intended design. These mistakes are rare, and when they do occur, they make a coin extremely valuable. For collectors, the hunt for coins with minting errors is one of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting. One of the most sought-after errors on the 2001 nickel is the double die error. This happens when a coin is struck twice by the same die, causing a slight shift or doubling of the design. On the 2001 nickel, you might notice that some of the letters or numbers appear thicker or doubled. This error can be seen in the inscription Liberty or In God We Trust, where the letters appear to have been struck more than once, giving them a blurry or doubled appearance. This type of error is highly prized by collectors, as it is a clear indication that the coin is not like any other typical 2001 nickel, but the double die error is not the only variation that can make a 2001 nickel stand out. Another type of error that has been spotted in some 2001 nickels is the off-center strike. This occurs when the die used to mint the coin is misaligned, resulting in the design being struck off-center. An off-center strike can sometimes be a subtle mistake, but in more dramatic cases, it results in a coin where the design is visibly shifted. Off-center nickels, especially those with a significant misalignment, are highly sought after because they are unique and very rare. If you happen to come across a 2001 nickel with an off-center strike, you might just be holding onto a valuable coin that could be worth far more than the 5-cent face value. Aside from minting errors, the condition of the coin is also an important factor in determining its value. A coin that has been well preserved, free of scratches, dents, or discoloration, is always more valuable than a coin that has seen a lot of wear and tear. For example, a 2001 nickel in mint condition, free of scratches or signs of handling, will fetch a much higher price than one that has been heavily circulated. If the coin has an error, such as the double die or off-center strike, and is in excellent condition, its value can multiply even more. But here's the most mind-blowing part. Even though most 2001 nickels are worth only 5 cents, some of these rare coins have sold for eye-popping amounts of money at auctions. There are stories of collectors finding a 2001 nickel with an error that ultimately fetched a staggering $41,000. That's right, $41,000 for a single 5-cent coin. This may sound unbelievable, but the value of a coin with the right error, in pristine condition, and with the right buyer can reach astronomical heights. For a nickel to reach such a value, it has to be a rare combination of factors that only comes along once in a while, but for the lucky few who stumble upon one, the rewards can be extraordinary. So, how can you tell if your 2001 nickel could be worth such a fortune? First and foremost, carefully examine the coin for any obvious errors. The double die error is usually easy to spot because it makes the letters on the coin appear to be doubled or thickened. Look closely at the words Liberty and In God We Trust on the obverse of the coin. If you notice any signs of doubling or blurriness in these inscriptions, you may have found a valuable coin. Next, check for any signs of misalignment on the reverse. If the design appears off-center, with some parts of Monticello cut off or the coin's edge visible where it shouldn't be, you might have an off-center error on your hands. After identifying potential errors, it's crucial to check the condition of the coin. A well-preserved 2001 nickel with a visible error can command a premium price, especially if it's in mint state or has been professionally graded. Coin grading is the process by which experts evaluate the condition of a coin and assign it a grade based on its appearance. A higher grade indicates a coin in better condition, which means it will likely be worth more money. If you're lucky enough to find a 2001 nickel with a minting error and in excellent condition, consider having it graded by a professional to determine its exact value. For those who are actively collecting coins or simply keeping an eye out for rare finds, it's important to remember that a nickel can be much more than just pocket change. In the world of numismatics, every coin has the potential to hold hidden value. While the 2001 nickel may seem like an ordinary coin, if you happen to find one with a double die error, an off-center strike, or other minting flaws, you could be looking at a treasure worth thousands of dollars. Just imagine discovering a coin that you thought was just part of your loose change and finding out it's worth a small fortune. That's the thrill of coin collecting, and with the 2001 nickel, you never know when you might come across a rare gem. In conclusion, the 2001 United States 5-cent coin is far more than just a nickel. With the right minting errors and excellent condition, this seemingly ordinary coin can be worth thousands of dollars. As crazy as it sounds, one of these rare coins sold for $41,000. If you find a 2001 nickel with an error, take the time to examine it closely and consider having it professionally graded. Who knows, you could be holding onto a coin worth more than you ever imagined. Top 5 2005 United States 5-cent coin, commonly known as a nickel. You might be holding onto a hidden treasure that could make you a small fortune. While the average nickel is worth, well, just 5 cents, there are some 2005 nickels that have sold for astounding amounts, turning an everyday coin into a true numismatic gem. When most people think about nickels, they picture the familiar design that has been in circulation for decades: Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, front, and Monticello, his famous Virginia estate, on the reverse, back. This design was first introduced in 1938 and remains a staple in U.S. coinage. In 2005, the U.S. Mint continued to produce nickels with this same design. However, what most people don't realize is that, in the world of coin collecting, the value of a coin isn't just determined by its design. Minting errors, rare variations, and the coin's overall condition can increase its worth by tens of thousands of dollars. And the 2005 nickel, due to some particular minting issues, is no exception. So what makes the 2005 nickel stand out among the sea of everyday coins? Well, the main reason some of these coins are worth significantly more than their face value comes down to one thing: minting errors. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the manufacturing process. These mistakes can cause a coin to be struck incorrectly, creating a one-of-a-kind piece that is far more valuable than a standard, error-free coin. Some of these errors, especially on coins from the 2005 series, have attracted the attention of collectors, causing these nickels to be worth thousands of dollars instead of just 5. One of the most valuable errors you could find on a 2005 nickel is the double die error. This occurs when the coin is struck twice by the same die, which leads to a doubling of the design. This error can appear on the letters or numbers of the coin, such as the word Liberty or the phrase, "In God We Trust." The doubling can be subtle but is often visible to the trained eye, especially when magnified. A 2005 nickel with this error could easily be worth far more than its face value, and if the doubling is particularly strong and clear, it could fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. Another error that makes certain 2005 nickels extremely valuable is the misaligned die error. A misaligned die happens when the die that strikes the coin is off-center, causing the design to be struck improperly. This results in a coin where the design is visibly shifted, sometimes dramatically so. In some cases, the misalignment can be so extreme that part of the design is cut off, making the coin even rarer. These misaligned die coins are much more unusual than typical coins and can attract serious interest from collectors. Depending on the severity of the misalignment and the condition of the coin, a misaligned die 2005 nickel could be worth a substantial amount of money. Aside from these errors, another important factor in determining the value of a 2005 nickel is its condition. As with any collectible item, the better the condition, the higher the value. A coin that is well preserved, with no scratches, dents, or discoloration, is far more valuable than one that has been heavily circulated. Coins in mint condition are often graded by professionals on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher grades corresponding to better condition and higher prices. So, if you're lucky enough to find a 2005 nickel in excellent condition, especially one with a minting error, its value could be significantly higher than its face value. But here's the part that really might leave you speechless. In some rare instances, a 2005 nickel, thanks to its minting errors, has been sold for astronomical prices. While it may seem hard to believe, one lucky collector sold a particular 2005 nickel for the mind-blowing sum of $40,000. Yes, you read that right, $40,000 for a single nickel. This particular coin had a rare minting error, and because of its excellent condition, it was able to fetch a price far beyond anyone's expectations. It's proof that sometimes, the value of a coin goes way beyond its face value. Now, you might be wondering how you can identify a 2005 nickel that could be worth this kind of money. It all comes down to paying attention to the details. Start by carefully inspecting the coin for any noticeable minting errors, especially the double die or misaligned die errors. Look closely at the words and numbers on the coin to see if they appear doubled or blurry, and examine the alignment of the design on the reverse side. If you see any signs of misalignment or shifting, that could mean you found an off-center strike, which is another highly valuable error. Once you've identified a potential error, the next step is to check the condition of the coin. Is it in mint state? Is it free of major scratches or damage? The better the condition, the more likely it is to fetch a higher price. If you believe you found a particularly rare or well-preserved 2005 nickel, it's worth getting it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service. A professional evaluation can give you a clearer picture of the coin's value and determine if it's something worth holding onto or even selling. Finding a 2005 nickel with a valuable minting error may take some patience, but it's possible. Collectors and coin enthusiasts are always on the lookout for rare and unique coins, and the 2005 nickel, with its potential errors, is high on their radar. So, the next time you come across a 2005 nickel in your spare change, don't just toss it aside. Take a moment to examine it closely. You could be holding onto a rare gem that could make you a lot of money. In conclusion, the 2005 United States 5-cent coin is far more than just a nickel. With its potential for minting errors, including double die and misaligned die mistakes, along with its value being greatly affected by its condition, the 2005 nickel has become a favorite among coin collectors. While most of these nickels are worth only 5 cents, a rare error coin could sell for as much as $40,000. So, don't overlook your change. There's always the possibility that the next nickel you find might be the one that could make you a small fortune. Keep your eyes peeled, and happy collecting!